Hi guys, I'm hoping this is just gonna be a very short instructional video, and it's basically just for my sister back home in Germany, who's been asking me about what I do, how I do it, and what I'm using. Now, I am absolutely no expert on this because I've only started doing this, a little while ago. This is just information I've gathered myself, over the last 2 months from all these wonderful artists that have been sharing their information. So, okay. So this will be kind of English and maybe some German words in this because it's for my sister Kerstin. Hallo Kerstin, wie geht's? Hier ist ein kleines Video für dich zusammengestellt. Ich werde dir mal so langsam die Materialien zeigen, die ich nehme. Und meistens wird es Englisch sein. Wenn du es nicht verstehst, sag mir halt Bescheid. So I just told her that I'm just going to show her all the ingredients and that I'm probably going to do it mostly in English. And if she doesn't understand something, just to call me. That makes it much easier. So anyway, we have our colors, and then we have a medium that I use, the Floetrol right now that I mixed it. So it's 50-50, half and half, halb und halb. 2 Ounces or 55 grams. I'm using 2-ounce bottles to make it easy, just to whip up a batch for a few little projects that I want to do. And those have 2 ounces in here. That is equivalent to either 95 grams or 95 milliliter. So, and I probably refer either to 50 grams or 2 ounces, but basically, always do half. Not always, but this one is a half and half mixture of paint. And then I did half the Floetrol. Now, Kerstin, you can also do, some people do 70% of glue and 30% water, or 65% and 35% water. You kind of have to play around with the mixture of what works with you, for you. So the colors I've been using are Admiral Blue, Award Blue. They're all by Apple Barrel, Cool Blue, and China Blue. Then I also am using some Artist Loft Gold and Artist Loft White. And I transferred them all in little cups. Now I have some lids on it because I mixed this up earlier and I wanted the air bubbles to settle. And I figured, since I'd like to reuse a lot of things, if possible, I always feel bad about using a lot of plastic. So I got these little cups. These are little 10-ounce cups to mix up some colors. And here's the gold. It's beautiful. Move my other stuff out of the way. And then we have that beautiful blue. So the reason I'm doing this little batch is because I've had this idea in my head. Now here's also something else I like using for mixing color. But one other thing, especially when you use like different colors, mix your own, this helps really well to get these blended. But they're gonna throw more bubbles. So you have to let it sit more and have to use the burners. You see all the little bubbles in there? Yeah. So once you get this on the canvas or on your surface, make sure you blow them out. So then we have the beautiful Award Blue here. Okay. Now I mixed these all in these cups. So even if I don't use all these colors up, now I have the little lids, and that will keep it from drying up, and the paint usually stays pretty liquidy for a while. So, now, I haven't put any silicone in yet. So there is 2 ounces of color in there and 2 ounces of Floetrol this time. And what I do, yes, I do. I'm one of those people who measures everything out. So 59 grams or 50 milliliter is 2 ounces. Now, if you're back home in Germany, you probably want to round the number up and just do 50 grams for everything, or 100 grams or whatever you need. It makes it just easier. Let me turn this back off again. But it makes everything nice. I put it also in a little bag, so it's my kitchen scale. And that way I keep it from getting dirty, schmutzig. So, okay. So this is, let's say 50 grams, 2 ounces. And what I'm gonna do after I stirred this all up with my stick, which I cleaned up so I can use it again. Excuse me. To get the cells in there, you know, or the blisters, Blasen, Zellenstrakte, I use some treadmill oil, this stuff. And you only need a couple drops. And for what I'm doing, 50 grams, 5 drops. So for every 10 grams, I use 1 drop. And I'm gonna put it on a really small little setting, so it's not gonna pour out. I'm gonna do it in a second. You can also use, this is coconut milk oil, and it's an anti-breakage serum that you can use for your hair. You can get it at the store, and the main ingredient is dimethicone in it. So it's very hard to read, but that's the main and first ingredient. Because it's the same, it's silicone, just like this. I ordered this on Amazon, just like I ordered, like you can order the glue or the Floetrol. The Floetrol, actually, I get at the hardware store, like Home Depot or Lowe's. Anyway, so let me just move all of this away real quick. We went over the colors, okay? So I put this away. It does help if you keep your areas clutter-free, because it's gonna get messy one way or another. Now, also, before I forget, because I'm very adamant about using everything out, when I poured these, transferred these into the cups, I kind of tipped them over for a little while to drip everything out, and then what I did, I filled these back up with the Flow Medium, with the Floetrol, and just shook it out and made the equal amount, put them in there. And then at the very end of it, I put about 10 milliliters of water in it, because the paint, I wanted to be a little bit more fluidy, and that was perfect. So I squeezed basically like as much paint out of these bottles as I possibly could. And you can just use tap water if you don't have too many minerals and stuff in it, or bottled water. I had this open one sitting here, so I just used that because I only need a little splash. Here we go. So I'm gonna put that all away. If you end up using, another thing, if you end up using a little frother for stirring the paint up, keep a little jar. I always do that. Keep a little jar or two, depending on the colors you have, and just rinse it off real quick, so that way you can go from white to the next colors. Rinse it off, always in between. Have a second glass maybe there to make sure you don't transfer any color over. And that way it's always nice and clean. I have a bad habit of not cleaning my tools after I use them. What's going on out there? Sorry about that. Somebody must be walking their dog. Oh boy, just hold up a second. Alright, I'm gonna tell them to be quiet. Just hold on a second. Hey guys! Hey! Einstein! Eddie! No, you don't. You start now. Don't you start. Okay. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you have doggies, and doggies roaming around the neighborhood. It's just little alarm bells, but you know, you don't want to have them stop it completely, because they are our little alarm system. They know when something comes around the corner or is 2 blocks away before I would even know. Okay, so this is turning into a longer video than I anticipated, so let's just move this out. I'm sorry, I apologize. But anyway, so that will be the last step, and then I'm gonna start a new video. So I'm basically just gonna count out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each of the cups. That was 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was a little bit more. So there's probably going to be bigger blisters coming in. Now, actually, for the dark, I decided not to because I'm going to kind of use that as my black and as a background color. So I'm not going to put anything in there because I don't want this to sell up. Anyway, and also another little thing, sticks here, popsicle sticks. But actually, I want to try and get away from using all of these. And yes, these are plastic, but I found these at the dollar store, and they mix actually very well too. And these are, I have them right now, so I can actually pour my colors later on it a little bit, because I only need little bits and pieces to figure out the techniques that I want to use. So, and they rinse off and wipe off really easily. So I'm just trying to, you know, use less plastic if I can, which is almost impossible doing this kind of art, but hey, I'm trying. So anyways, so what I'm going to do real quick, you know, I'm going to stir these up. Some people stir it up more, and some people stir it up less. I think the more you stir it up, it gives you smaller cells. And if you don't stir it up as much, I guess it gives you bigger cells. So this is a good little consistency here, I guess. Now, I also heard that metallics are reacting a little bit different. Now, this still has a lot of white bubbles in it. And after I did the first one with the little frother, I decided not to do the rest of them because I'm not actually mixing colors. I've just mixed the medium and the color together. So, there we go. Yeah. There we go. So this is just about it. There was a couple other things that I was going to show real quick too of what you want to have handy. I got some paper towels here, blue ones. Hubby had these blue workshop towels, which are very absorbent, which are great, but I do always keep a roll of paper towels with me too. And then later on when I'm pouring, I'm also gonna use my red gloves because I need to protect my skin a little bit more because I do get, I'm allergic to acrylic. Isn't that fun? And then also, I got my little burners here, or Bunsenbrenners. I got the little one here. I use the big one a lot, but the little one is great for little detail work, so I'm probably gonna have to use it on the smaller canvases, but I'm still trying to figure out how this works. Anyway, so I think this was it. So just remember, for the measurements, I weigh everything out on the scale, and I usually go by about 50 grams. It's more of a universal thing, but 2 ounces, 59 grams. If you want to be a stickler, and I'm a little bit of a stickler when it comes to exact measurements, I mean, it doesn't really matter. And then 2 fluid ounces is equal about to 2 ounces in weight, or 59 grams, or 59 milliliters. So just one more time, just for those that have a little bit hard time converting it. But now most of the kitchen scales now, they do have both of a metric and universal and US system on there. So anyway, so I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna get everything else ready, and then we're gonna start the pouring process.